CentralValleyTalk.com.
Taught her respect for her parents, respect for elders. I truly appreciate that. She knows the word sir, ma'am. This is something you don't hear from young children anymore.
And we really like it. We think it's been really good for his self-confidence.
All right, and we're back, and we're talking about bullying. And don't forget, blackbeltparent.com. You can actually read. We have most of the stuff that we're doing during the show archived. Now, today's show won't be archived probably for a couple more days, but so I hope you tuned in live right now. And we got to talk a little bit about the telltale signs. How can you tell whether or not your child is being bullied, right? Other than the bloody nose when he comes home, right? But there's actually, if I can get Katrina to put up the first chart, go ahead. There you go. There's actually quite a series if you look at this. So I don't know if we can see it all there, but it starts with, first of all, of course, bruising, cuts, damaged clothing, anything that's unexplained. All right, if your child cannot explain that, that doesn't really sound right. Of course, there's signs of anxiety, signs of distress, refusal to say what is wrong. Right? You ask your child what's happened, what's wrong, and he doesn't tell you. Right? Mood swings and behavior changes. That's a big one. If your child becomes withdrawn, becomes clingy, or constantly seeks attention all of a sudden, or displays a lot of aggressive behavior unexpectedly, right? There's, of course, if the child has out of character behavior in the classroom, right? Also, if all of a sudden he's got educational, academic issues, he deteriorates in that area. If he has a hard time concentrating, if he loses interest in school. Of course, some kids don't have that much interest in school, but if you see a change there, right? If his attendance becomes more erratic, all of a sudden he starts, getting sick more, and somehow use that to avoid it. Lingering behind in school or after class is over. In other words, doesn't want to go with the rest of the children, right? That's a big telltale sign, right? Also, don't forget, if your child starts asking for more and more pocket money or starts stealing money, that could be, just being dishonest, becomes, gets a bad habit. It could be because he has a bullying problem, right? And then also look at your child's personal possessions and their equipment, because if all of a sudden their stuff is lost, if he's losing a lot of stuff, it could be that it was taken by a bully. And lastly, this is something that sometimes people forget, is if your child draws pictures, look at his or her artwork. If it's, it somehow expresses some kind of a negativity or inner turmoil, that can be a definite sign of bullying.
Yeah, one of the, foremost ones you would see is not wanting to go to school, really.
Yeah.
Avoiding school.
Yeah, absolutely.
Faking being sick.
And we want to give a little bit of a tip to you here.
Oh, yes, if you need something quick because your child's being bullied, here's what you should teach your child. Keep in mind this is far from a long-term solution to the problem.
This is some of the first things that we teach children in our karate class too. So here, these are what we call the ABCs of conflict avoidance.
Yes, this is part of our stranger danger.
It is indeed. We do this a little bit every class or every week. So we start with, we have an A, B, and a C, and a D. A stands for avoid potentially dangerous situations. And we can put up the next chart there, Katrina. There it is. Avoid potentially negative situations. So really, make sure, the easy way to tell it to your child is don't be there. Don't go to the place where the bully hangs out. We do it as adults too. We don't go into the sleazy part of town because we know what's going to happen, right? B would be for be calm and breathe. This is something that you can go over with with your child. Really, that's simple. So number 1, avoid potentially dangerous situations. Number 2, be calm and breathe. Yes. And then the C stands for communicate with confidence. That's hard. You have to practice that with your child. We do it with our karate students all the time. They get very good at it. And we'll talk later, about how you can facilitate that. And the D stands for don't make it worse by arguing or fighting, because it never works. So there's a way of showing confidence and looking the child or the bully in the eyes and yet not aggravate the situation and not exacerbate it. And,
exactly. Now, the 3 most common mistakes a child will make when confronted with a bully is 1, looking down instead of looking the bully in the eyes with confidence. So that's another thing we really emphasize at the school.
Yep.
2, speaking in a low, timid voice. 3, not knowing what to say, having a loss for words.
Exactly. So, a bully says, hey, how come you dressed funny, something like that, and you actually make the mistake of looking down, talking really quietly, not knowing what to say, you're making yourself a victim.